just a wholly unhappy accident that Mike Tomlin stole my intro to today's show. Morning to you. Good Wednesday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Steelers. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. It's presented by FanDuel. If you're into hockey and or baseball, I also offer daily shots. The other two teams in town, the Penguins and Pirates. Tomlin's press conference yesterday came with some amount of news and developments. And here I'm not referring to minor additions or injury updates and the like. I'm referring to, big stuff, or at least big sounding stuff. But before you can get to any of that, as I was going to open this show myself,
the first component of fixing it is acknowledging it. You really don't get an opportunity to fix it until you face those circumstances again. And so we spent some time acknowledging it. We're going to get back to work. We certainly believe that we work in the right spirit. We do the right things environmentally. We're going to get back to work, man, and wait for our opportunity to rectify it. You can spend a lot of time talking about your ills, but the true fixes come in stadiums. And so that's why sometimes I'm somewhat hesitant to respond to the how do you fix it question. There's certainly procedurally things that you go about doing that fixes it, but the fix happens in stadium and the rest of it is just talk.
Okay, that sounds good. A lot of the stuff that he said sounded good. A lot of it strongly suggested real change. He didn't duck anything. He didn't sugarcoat anything, and he didn't even blink when asked if he was considering either firing Terrell Austin or taking over the play calling, saying,
no, that's not on the table as we sit here today. We just got to keep doing what we're doing and do it better.
I'm here to tell you that's not a question he would normally take with any level of grace. So, and I hate to make this sound like it matters, but it does, because the nature of this coach's personality, based on only about 2 decades of precedent around here, is that this is what it takes to get him to change things up. It takes something of this scope, calling the defense potentially historic back in training camp, assembling all of this. Don't forget his role in that. And then there they are, rock bottom, right now. Rock bottom. Look it up. And facing the number one team in the NFL. Not number one on offense, not number one on defense, just plain old number one. The Colts have the league's best record at 7-1, and as such, they are the best team in football until proven otherwise. So yeah, if not now, then when? After the Steelers turn a 4-1 start into a 4-4? That's some painfully familiar recent ground that nobody wants to be treading. After they're almost caught in the AFC North standings by the Bengals, who have a minus 79 points differential? Or do you wait until the following week when you're facing the NFL's number one passer and Justin Herbert and the Chargers way out in Los Angeles? Now is that time. Today is that time. And actually, the week of practice got started, in essence, last night when Omar Khan traded with the Patriots to pick up Kyle Duggar, a safety, who fits the Deshaun Elliott mold. Not going to compare the two in terms of quality. Elliott's coming off the season of a lifetime for him. But Duggar's more of the run prevention safety type. He tackles. He's what's missing. And somebody obviously already determined that Jabril Peppers wasn't going to fill in for Elliott. Chucky Clark wasn't going to fill in for Elliott. So Omar went out and used some of that cap space he's been holding on to. Around $5 million or so, by the way. But that's something. Does that mean he's going to start? No. Does that mean he maybe scares a guy or two somewhere on the depth chart or in the secondary. Who knows? We'll see. The stuff that I like the best from the head coach yesterday, and saying this yet again, it doesn't mean anything until it happens. He endorsed Cam Hayward's assessment that the defense was lacking fight in its inability to overcome adversity. They just seemed to kind of crumble, which also happened in Cincinnati. He acknowledged that he did substitute Brandon Echols for Darius Slay late in the game. He called Echols deserving to play. He semi-criticized Slay, saying that he's left a few plays out there, expressed some exasperation about not having any takeaways since Dublin. And, you know, if you looked at all of it, if you took it all and just crumbled it up into one wad of paper, which I know some of you would want to do if you were handed this transcript, what I would come away with more than anything else is that we're going to see some different things. We're going to see some different players. We're going to see some different looks. We might not see them succeed against that particular opponent, but we would see something that's not what we've been seeing. Remember last week I set off a few of you, more than a few of you actually, by stating that I'd be okay with a loss to the Packers provided the defense got itself figured out. Well, you got the loss part, but you sure didn't see anything get fixed. Maybe you didn't want to. I'm trying here, okay? I'm trying. But maybe you didn't want to see them just kind of skate through the way they did after dropping, 5 potential interceptions against the Browns? Maybe everything needed to be exposed. Maybe Tomlin had to have his day, this type of press conference, to walk the full contritional mile before anything was going to happen to change anything. When we come back, J1Q.
This segment of Daily Shot is brought to you by our good friends at Mike's Beer Bar. They're located on Federal Street, directly across from PNC Park. Mike has more than 500 beers on tap, including from more than 50 local breweries. Stop in and say hello. Tell Mike we sent you. Mike's Beer Bar. Football season's finally here. Time to check out the latest odds, futures, and win totals on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Think the Steelers are headed to the Super Bowl? Lock in your bets today. Whatever your game, FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials, so you can join in on all the action. For those of you who are doing real work in construction, in a warehouse, if you're a mechanic, you want reliable, comfortable gear to help you perform well on the job. Brunt Workwear's got you. They've got waterproof boots, safety toe, soft toe, pull-on, lace-up, whatever you need. You can wear them to work, and if they're not right for you, send them back. I don't know of any other brand doing that. Brunt was tired of the workwear brands out there cutting corners. You work too hard to be stuck in uncomfortable boots that don't hold up. So they built something better. Boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site. For a limited time, our listeners get $10 off. Just head to bruntworkwear.com. Use the code DK Sports and you're good to go. After you order, they'll ask you where you heard about Brunt. Do us a favor here at DK Pittsburgh Sports and tell them it was from this show.
Today's J1Q comes from Tammy Moni, who says, DK, please talk me off the ledge and tell me why I should believe in the Steelers now or the near future. When is the last time, for example, that they had a truly successful draft pick? Is it poor drafting? Is it poor developmental coaching? Either way, she writes, it's a problem. I'm going to try to answer you literally before anything else, Tammy. I'm going to keep the draft stuff. I'm going to make a habit of this. and stay within Omar Khan's time span. I feel that's fair in evaluating the process that's at hand, because these are the same people. It's Khan, Andy Weidel, and Mike Tomlin, versus saddling them or praising them for something that Kevin Colbert would have overseen. And that means 3 drafts. And to go back to 2023, Broderick Jones is your first round pick. That's not looking great, especially since you traded up a few spots to get him at number 14. Joey Porter Jr. was picked 32nd overall, which makes him, kind of a first rounder. Joey's still finding his way, I guess. He does do some good things. He tends to draw more attention when he doesn't do good things, but that's the nature of his position. Keanu Benton taking a step backward. Darnell Washington's your 3rd round pick. That's a nice 3rd round pick. Nick Herbig is your 4th rounder. Really nice 4th rounder. Your 7th rounders, plural, were Corey Trice, who, needs to stay healthy, and Spencer Anderson, who's become a really useful 7th round pick. So overall, I wouldn't say that one's bad. 2024, Troy Fautanu is your first rounder. Troy is out there. He's playing. Had to miss a year, obviously, but he's playing well. Zach Frazier is next. I don't think anybody would argue that out of all 3 of these classes, your best player is Frazier. That's a 2nd round pick, 51st overall. Really well done. 2 3rd rounders, Roman Wilson, who finally seems to be getting involved, and Peyton Wilson, who had himself the only good performance of anybody on defense Sunday night against the Packers. 4th rounder, Mason McCormick. He's your starting right guard. That's not bad. 2 6th rounders, Logan Lee and Ryan Watts. Whatever. 2025, obviously, very obviously, I would hope, too early to call, as the politicos might say. Derek Harmon's out there. He's starting. He very quietly, but for real, settled down the run defense for the most part. Once he got healthy, you want him to have some time. Caleb Johnson's your next pick, even though he was a 3rd rounder. And don't bury Caleb over one stupid special teams mistake when they never should have had him returning kicks anyway. That's not excusing him. It's not excusing them. It's just not worth the label. Right now, he's not even getting on the field. That's not because of anything he's done wrong. That's because Jaylen Warren and Kenny Gainwell are doing, I think, terrific ahead of him. 4th round pick, Jack Sawyer. 5th round pick, Y.A. Black. 6th round pick, Will Howard. You see what I mean by not bothering? We have no reason to be going through any of this. 7th rounder, Carson Bruner. Overall, Tammy, these drafts don't offend me, particularly the 2 that I feel at least a little bit more comfortable evaluating. I don't think these are a problem, much less the problem. I think there's potential here in terms of the work that's been done by the scouts, the evaluators, and obviously the decision makers that should give you some hope for the future. Now, if I can take a guess here at what might have set you off as it relates to the draft, it would just be the 1st round. And here's why. Over the past decade, full 10 years, the 1st round picks have been, from 2016 onward, Artie Burns, then TJ Watt at 30th overall, just an extraordinary pick. Then Terrell Edmonds. Then Devin Bush at 10 overall. Yikes. Traded up for that too. There was no 1st rounder in 2020, but the top pick was Chase Claypool, which didn't excite anybody. 1st rounder in 2021 was Najee Harris. Everyone has their own views on Najee. I'm going to let that one go. 2022, 1st pick was Kenny Pickett. You got almost nothing out of that, nothing to show for it. And then, of course, come Broderick Jones, Troy Fautanu, and Derek Harmon. It's the 1st rounders, I think, that have made it feel like, yikes. I'm sure I didn't talk you down from any ledge, Tammy, but I appreciate hearing from you anyway. I appreciate everybody who listens to Daily Shot of Steelers. Hear me out on this. We're going to have a double shot of Steelers today, but it'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern. The reason for that is I've got a hockey flight to make later in the afternoon up to Minneapolis. So again, double shot at 1 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there.